Hi guys, Matthew Lippard here again with another another video. I'm doing this recipe. I saw I watched on Food Network on the kitchen, and this chef Sunny Anderson. She made this thing. I don't really know how to say this. It's Apfelkuchen or Apfelkuchen, something like that. Anyway, it's a German dish. It translates into apple cake. It looked really good. Never made it before. Never heard of it before. So I'm going to try to do it. I'm going to do it exactly the way Sunny Anderson did. Even with the shortcut that she did, I'm not going to change anything this time. Maybe next time I won't do any shortcuts, but this time I'm just going to do it exactly the way she did it. Like I say, it looks really good. Hopefully it turns out as good as she did. But do me a favor, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, will you? Hit that like button, share this video, and if you're brand new to my channel, I want to thank you for tuning in. If you've been a long time subscriber, thank you for tuning back in. And if you try this recipe, let me know what you think. Let me know what you changed and how you made this recipe your own. Also, do me a favor. Let me know what part of the country or what part of the world that you're watching this from. It's cool to see what kind of reach this channel has. I'm here in Bakersfield, California, doing this video, and hopefully this thing turns out as good as it did for Sunny. But we're going to go ahead and get this camera turned around and get started. Okay, I've started here with 5 Granny Smith apples. I peeled them, then I cored them, and then I sliced them with my hand coring machine. It gives me 8 pieces. I basically took each of those 8 pieces, cut them in 3 pieces, and I've got a couple of cups of water here, quarter cup of lemon juice. Stir that together. Then I'm going to put these apples in there and stir them around, let them set for a little bit while I finish up some of the other stuff. And that'll get us started. This is going to make a really good dessert. I'm really looking forward to this. Make sure you get that lemon water on everything and keeps those things nice while we're getting ready. Now I'll go ahead and I'll reset the camera so that we can start on the batter and the streusel. Okay, I'm back here getting these ingredients ready. I've also got my oven preheated to 325. I know that sounds low for a cake, but we're just going to have to go with it because this is going to cook for a long time. It's going to cook for like an hour and a half. So here's the first shortcut. What did I do with the box? Oh, instead of making the cake mix, it's a box cake mix. So it's a white cake mix. You can do something else. You can do a yellow or whatever, but it's a white cake mix. I'm going to dump that in the big bowl here and put that aside. And then I'm going to mix the wet ingredients in a separate bowl. I've got some. It calls for apple cider. I didn't see any apple cider at the store, so I got what they had, which was apple juice. And I did some research. I said you can use apple juice in place. And then I've got some sour cream. I'll have all of the amounts in the description so you don't have to guess. Put the sour cream in there. And then I've got 3 eggs I've whisked up. And put those in there. Mix this stuff all up. And then I will combine this with the dry ingredients with the cake mix. Or dry ingredients, just one ingredient, it's a cake mix. Mix that in there like that. And I'll take another whisk. I'll get this all mixed up here. And once this is done, then I'll go making the streusel. This looks, like I say, it looks like an amazing cake. But we're going to find out. I think it will be. I like the Granny Smith apples. Got a little bit of a tartness to them. Of course, after cooking for an hour and a half, they're going to be nice and soft. And it's going to be nice, a nice appearance too, nice and pleasing to the eye, the way this is all laid out. Okay, that's mixed up. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reset my camera so I can make the streusel. Okay, I'm over here in front of the stand mixer. Do I need a mixer for this? Not necessarily, but there's one way that I've seen them do this on the kitchen before. I've seen them do other places that I just refuse to do it that way, and you'll see in just a minute. I'm going to start out with 2.5 cups of light brown sugar. Put that out of the way. a cup of AP flour, and a teaspoon of cinnamon sugar. And let me just mix that up like this. And then this is what I've got this for. It takes a full stick of butter. Well, what we get is half sticks, but it also says 1 cup, was half a cup each here. So I've got my handy dandy mixer here, and I have tried grating this butter with a box grater or whatever kind of grater you want, and all it does is frustrate me. So I put the grater attachment onto my KitchenAid. I do the same thing if I have a lot of cheese to grate, and then I just make easy work of grating this butter. Comes out nice and neat. Just kind of rolls out there. And the butter is frozen. I don't know if I mentioned that, but the butter is frozen. I always keep butter frozen, a certain amount of it, because I make biscuits almost every Saturday morning for breakfast, and the biscuit recipe that I use, I do use frozen butter as well. So I always keep a certain amount of butter frozen. Makes quick work of this, really. Like I say, same thing with grating cheese. If you have a KitchenAid or a stand mixer, and you have the attachment like this, oh my God, it's such a lifesaver. And it's minimal work to clean this up compared to the pain of grating this by hand. And for me, I got big hands, and then that butter gets, as you have a hold of it, it starts to get melt a little bit. It's hard to hold. It just gets slimy and nasty. It's just not a pleasant experience for me. So I just do it like this and be done with it. And I didn't do it this time, but a lot of times what I do too is I actually freeze, put the grater attachment in the freezer as well, and get it cold. That way I don't have the cold butter mating against the warm utensil, or room temperature utensil. Shut that off, pop this out, get any butter that might be residual in there. Yeah, it definitely helps to stick this unit in the freezer as well, because I can definitely see some parts where it started to, you got a little bit of heat into it. So put that away. And then we're going to take this pastry cutter. In fact, let me get this thing out of the way so it's not affecting the camera view. And then we're going to mix this up just like this until we get everything just kind of crumbly. And if I need to, I'll stick it back in the refrigerator for a little bit, just while we finish getting everything ready. If I don't have to, then I won't, but there. It's getting kind of crumbly. You can see that the butter's getting mixed in. There's a few of the big pieces at the end, but I'll be able to crumble this over, and as it cooks, that butter will melt, and it will all come out really nice. Okay. Now let me go reset my camera where it was, and we'll go back and we'll start assembling this. Okay, I've got some cooking spray here and some parchment paper. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put that aside for now. I'm going to spray the bottom of this spring-form pan. Most of you are familiar with that. If you're not, it has that spring on that the bottom comes out. Spray that, spray the sides, and then put the parchment paper down. That'll allow it to release better, and then spray that parchment paper as well. That way nothing sticks, everything comes out really nice. And then we're going to take and we're going to pour in about half of the cake batter. It's kind of a guess. Get that all in there. And then we're going to lay in the apples. Okay, we're going to start with some of this, with half of the streusel. We're going to put half of the streusel in here. Let that kind of, some of it will sink into the cake batter. So you'll basically end up with this streusel all over. And like I say, use about half of it. It's going to be a nice layer in there. And then we're going to take these apples. I hope you can see this. Let me start over here. We're going to lay these apples here in a pattern like this. It's not as important in this layer because this one won't necessarily be seen, but on the top layer, it's going to be seen. So this will be the very top of the cake when it's all said and done. But this is good practice to do this. And I say we just kind of lay these out here like this. And when I get all done with the top, I'll try to set it up here where the camera can see it better. Just kind of set them in there because they'll sink in a little bit on their own. I did 5 of these Granny Smiths. This may turn out to be, too many. We'll see. But that's what Sunny used, so that's what I'm going to use. I get a kick out of watching her. I just really think she's a neat lady, and she's funny. She likes to have fun when she cooks, and it's kind of how I am. I like to have fun in life, and so I get a kick out of people like that are the same way. There, I just kind of laid those in like that. Hopefully you can see that. I don't want to tip it too far. I get the batter all running over. And then I'll put in the rest of the cake mix. And it doesn't have to be, it's not going to be perfectly in half unless you measure it, and I'm not going to measure it because it just doesn't have to be perfectly half. Then just kind of smooth it out where it gets all the way to the end. And then add more of your streusel. I like this streusel. I put this on when I do my peach cobbler. I do a smoked peach cobbler, and it's really good with fresh peaches. But then I take a streusel similar to this. You can see all that frozen butter. All that frozen butter is going to melt in there really nice. I'm going to stop right there. Let me wash my hands off, and then I'll get back into. We'll put this top layer of apples on. This one you should be able to see really well because it's right at the top of the pan. And if you have some artistic background, that maybe helps. I don't have much of an artistic background. I don't have, I don't necessarily get stuff like this as even as it'd be nice to, but that's okay. Even my slices, when I watched Sunny make this on the kitchen, it was kind of funny because, it looked like a lot of these pieces were pretty close to being the same size, and well, when I do it, they're just not the same size. But, I don't do this for a living and she does, so I guess that's maybe the difference. I don't know. But these are going to brown up nice. Like I say, after an hour and a half in the oven, it's going to look really nice. And these apples like this, just give it a nice, well, they were using the term curb appeal, but it just gives it a nice appearance. It's appealing to the eye. And, whoops, some of these I'm getting stuck down in there too far. Yeah, I could have probably almost got by with 4 apples, but maybe I cut them too thin. I don't know. Got more pieces than what I need, but I don't really want to add any more in there and have it overflowing. So, in fact, what I'm going to do, just in case it does overflow, because it is pretty full, I'm going to put it on one of these baking dishes or whatever. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and stick this in the oven, and I'm going to set the timer for an hour and a half, and then we'll come back and we'll look at it, and we'll see if it's done. We'll do the old toothpick trick and go from there. And if it needs a little bit more, we'll add a little bit more time, but we're going to start with an hour and 30 minutes. And we will be back then to take a look at this. Okay, I've taken it out of the oven. I'm going to pop this springform pan. Hopefully everything pops out here nice. All right. Still a little bit warm. There. There. All right. Put that down here. See, the edge of that turned out really nice. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some powdered sugar on that. I also I didn't show this on the camera, but I also put some of the cinnamon sugar on the top. Let that kind of crystallize a little bit. Okay, got a little powdered sugar. I don't have one of those little fancy sprinklers, so I'm just going to kind of do this by hand. Put a little bit of powdered sugar in this thing. Make it look, I wish I had one of those little things. I'll have to get one. I don't use powdered sugar very often. So we just make it rain a little bit. Make it look pretty. And then, let me clean this stuff off my hand. Then, I'm going to transfer this to this. And see if I can do this without making a mess. I still have that I have that parchment paper under it. Uh-oh, that didn't work. I'm splitting it out over here. So that's not working as well as I would like it to. Well, that isn't quite working like I want it. I should probably have let it cool a little bit more, but it's late, and I didn't. So there's not much turning back now. Yeah, that's not working. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a piece off of this right now because I want to show this. Now I'll have to let it cool before I do anything. It's too hot. I just took it out of the oven 15 minutes or so ago, and yeah, it just needs to cool off a little bit. Now I need a plate to put this on. This piece here that I'm taking out. There. There's what we got. That cake with the apples in it. And very soft. Definitely needs to cool before I take it off of there. That's definitely a mistake I made. But man, is it good. Well, I'm gonna let this cool off for a few hours, and then I'll come back and move it from here over into the regular plate. But for now, I'm gonna put that back on here, and I'll wait and let that cool. I'll cover it with some foil and let it cool the rest of the way before I try and move it over there, because right now it's just gonna fall apart. So there we go. Well, there you go, guys. A couple of little blunders, but it turned out okay. And man, it sure tastes good. It tastes every bit as good as I thought it would. It's really going to be exciting to let this thing cool off and to be able to transfer it from the bottom of the springform pan over into that regular cake plate with that cover on it. It's going to be really cool to see that. But it's really a great dessert. Again, I can't really say the name of it as, you know, but it's a German apple cake is what it is, and really good. The apples are nice and soft. The flavor inside that cake is just amazing. So if you try this recipe, go ahead and leave in the comment section what you thought of it. If you changed anything, made it your own, let me know how you did that too. And I appreciate this the show, The Kitchen, that we watch every Saturday morning, and they share these recipes. And Sonny Anderson was gracious enough to share this recipe, and it's an amazing recipe, and it's definitely a recipe that I'm going to do again. This is not the last time this thing is going to happen. And as I do it more and more, I'm going to get better at it. But I've just seen this one time, and then I went for it. So go ahead and hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, will you? And share this video, and tell me again where you're watching this from, what part of the country or the world that you're from, so I know what kind of reach we're having. We're well north of 1,000 subscribers now. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I appreciate everybody subscribing to my channel. And if you subscribe to my channel and your profile is public, I will respond and subscribe to your channel as well. I like to support those that support me, and that's what makes this thing work. So let's do it. So until next time, may God bless you and have a great day.